Hello my gorgeous babes out there, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree and I'm just a crazy lover of all things makeup, all things fun and glittery, and I like to post a lot of fun colorful makeup content on my channel. So if those are things you like to watch, please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I'd love to have you here. But in today's video, I'm going to be playing with some products from Unearthly Cosmetics. They used to be known as Alien Cosmetics, but I have the new Fall Magic palette. I have some blush and highlighters from them as well, and some brushes. So I thought I would use all of them, create a couple looks, and let you know my thoughts on these products. So if you're interested in seeing and hearing all of that, then keep on watching. Alright, my loves, welcome. I am struggling today. If I sound funny, it's because I've been dealing with a head cold. So I feel like my voice is kind of going. I'm a little congested, but I am just so tired of being in the bed. I've slept 2 days straight. The whole world passed me by for 2 days, and I'm tired of being in the bed. I'm tired of sleeping. I was like, you know what? I need to get up, film a video, have some fun with makeup, because makeup always makes me feel good. I love playing with makeup, and just get up. I need to do something with my life. I still haven't decorated for Christmas. No Christmas tree, no lights outside, because I've been sick, and the previous weekend my boyfriend was sick, so I'm pretty sure I caught whatever he had. But luckily, no fever, no like breathing issues. I've just been congested all up here and like my sinuses. So I apologize if I sound funny, but that's why. I'm just gonna power through it because, you know, the struggle has been real these past couple months. I feel like I've been getting sick, and then I'm normal, and then I'm sick, and then I'm normal. I'm gonna do my best here, so hopefully you don't mind. But I'm gonna go over each of the products, and then I'll create a couple looks with the palette. So here's the Fall Magic palette. I think this is their newest palette that they've come out with. This is $48, and it's so beautiful, the packaging. And it's available on their website for pre-order. And I love the direction they went with this color story. I feel like it's a very different take on a fall palette. It's leaning a lot more cool tone. There's a few warm shades in here, but overall it's pretty cool tone with the jewel tone shades and stuff. And I felt like this would transition really beautifully into the winter time. I just think this is so beautiful. I also think this is a very wearable palette if you're like getting new to color, because they're a little bit more muted. And there are some, you know, like nude shades in here, and I think it's beautiful. I like the depth in here, so I feel like this will work for all skin tones as well. But just so beautiful. And they have some dual chrome shades in here. I think like this one has a shift, this one has a shift. Some of these have shifts in them. They're so pretty. I did swatches on Instagram and took photos. If you haven't seen that, it was so beautiful. And then the mattes here are really pigmented. So I think there's about 5 shimmers and 7 mattes. So really pretty. Then I have this blush and highlighter. The owner created this to celebrate her sisters. Thought it was so cute. So I got the highlighter in Danny. This one is like kind of an icy highlighter. I feel like it might have maybe a gold shift to it. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty icy. Hopefully that works on my skin tone. And then this is the GG blush, which is like a deeper pinky blush. So hopefully I can share this out because it looks dark in the pan, but it's really pretty color. And these are $10 each, and they are available on Unearthly's website right now. Then I got this cool little brush set. This is $28. This is also available on their site, and I just love the packaging on it. It just totally matches their brand, but there's a foundation brush, a powder brush, looks like maybe a contour or bronzer brush, and then a highlighter brush. At least I would use it as a highlighter. You could probably use this as a powder on the eyes. And then there are some eye brushes, super cute. So I'm gonna use these brushes to create the looks, but I think it's a good time to zoom you guys in and try out some of these products. Okay, I think that's close enough. I am gonna put the blush and highlighter on first, and then we'll go into the palette. So I'm gonna use this big powder brush. I normally would use a smaller brush than this, but I just wanna test it out. I feel like this would be so good for like really pressing powder on the face. But I'm gonna go in there. Ooh, it picks up a lot. So let me dust some off and dab some on. Oh yeah. Ooh, that is pretty. It definitely has like a little bit of a sheen. Looks like there's like fine little shimmers in here. It's not like glitters on the face, but it definitely gives a little nice sheen to the cheeks, which I love. I've said it over and over. I prefer glowy blushes. I'm not totally into fully matte blushes, and if they're matte, I always go in with like a blush topper. So I'm happy that this has a sheen. That looks really pretty. I like this color. It's like a deeper pink, and I do like this brush. It actually worked really nicely for putting on blush. So then I'll use the highlighter. I'm gonna go in with this little brush right here. I don't know. Oh, this is the A4, so they have numbers. So this is the A1, and this is the A4. So maybe eventually they'll sell them individually, but right now they're only sold in a set. And let's see. Oh, that's pretty. I think maybe I can get away with this. I was worried that it might be too icy, but there's a little bit of like a gold to it. I would describe it as like a white gold highlighter. I've never tried Unearthly Cosmetics like face products before. I know that they have a highlighter palette, so wow, I do like this formula. I think it looks really pretty on the cheeks. I do like this little highlighter brush. I feel like it's dense enough to put the powder down, but it has flexibility to like, you know, kind of blend it out. Do like this brush. I'm gonna go in with the A2 brush and just kind of blend the bronzer and blush together. So now I want to get into the palette. I'm probably gonna create 2 looks. I'm probably gonna do them back to back. So I want to lean into the browns here and maybe like this taupey shade up here and this green. Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with Cocoa. Oh yeah, let's get into Cocoa. There is some kickback in the pan, but I don't really mind kick up in the pan. Usually means the formula is going to be more blendable. I did prime my eyes with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. So I'm going to use that in the crease. It's a very cool tone brown. Super, super cool tone brown. At least it looks very cool tone on the lid. It kind of has like a grayish taupiness to it. But I'm going to use that all through the crease. I feel like this palette does lean more on the darker side. More like smoky end. So if you prefer like a mix of lighter like shades, you might have to pull in some lighter mattes if you need. But I don't mind that. I like to do really smoky looks, so I like these kind of shades, but this is blending out really nicely. Okay, that looks really good. And I think this brush right here did a really good job at getting up into the crease and like really blending out the shade. So far these brushes are working really nicely. So now I'm going to take the A6 brush. It's a little bit more like thicker and denser, and I'm going to go into the shade Earth, this deep green shade, and I'm going to use that on the outer corner. I'm not doing like any kind of complicated looks today. I don't have the energy to be complicated. But I'm just going to use that all on the outer corner. It's a very deep green. Definitely with a shade like this, you'll want to dust off the excess first before you go in with it on your face, because it is pretty powdery in the pan. It does have a lot of kick up in the pan, so you want to be careful with this shade. But I'm just going to focus that on the outer corner. And I like this brush because it has density to it, but still like fluffy enough to like blend the edges. Very nice brush, but I'm going to use that all in the outer corner. I'll probably take it down on the bottom too and have it connect up. This actually works pretty good on the bottom part too. So now I want to lay down some glitter primer all over my lid, and I'm going to use this other brush in the palette, which is a little bit more of a flat brush. It has a little bit of fluff to it. But I'm going to use that to lay down a glitter primer all in the inner portion. Yeah, these brushes are so soft. So I just want to make sure I put that all down because I just want the shimmers to really pop. Alright, so glitter primer is laid down. I want to go in with Leaves. Now this one has a teal purple shift to it. And I'm going to use that closest to the matte with the brush I just used the glitter primer with. Ooh, that's beautiful. Now I feel like it's picking up really teal on camera, but in person there's a very distinct purple shift to the shade. I'm not sure if it's going to capture on camera. It's kind of hard to capture dual chromes and like multi-chromes, but in the right like angle and lighting, it looks purple. But I'm just going to concentrate that closest to the matte and slightly inward not going to take it all the way in because I'm going to take a different metallic there, but this is beautiful. Beautiful shade. Let me clean this brush off, and I want to go into the shade Cashmere, and I feel like this one is more of a traditional metallic. It doesn't really appear to have a shift to this one, but it's a very taupey metallic, so I'm just going to use that in the inner portion. Yeah, it's almost more satin-like, but I did think the shade was going to be beautiful to go with this look. I want to put shimmer down on the bottom part, so I did wet the flat shader brush, the A7 brush, and I'm going to take Leaves, the shade here, and I'm going to run that on the bottom too. I don't know, I just want this look to have a lot of shimmer to it, and these shimmers are just so beautiful. So I'm going to use that down here. And then I'm going to clean this brush off, and I'm going to go back into Cashmere, the taupey shimmer, and use that in the inner portion. I think I'm going to use the Danny highlighter as an inner corner highlight because I feel like all the shades in here are leaning a little too dark. Even the shade right here, because it has a kind of purple base to it, so I feel like it's going to be too dark for the inner corner. So let me use the Danny highlighter. This is something I do often when I don't have a light shade in the palette, so I'm going to use that in the inner corner. So that's the only thing with this palette is all of it's leaning more dark. There's no real like light shimmers to use as the inner corner highlight. So Danny is working beautiful as that inner corner. I just wanted something to brighten the inner portion here. So I love how this turned out. I think this is all the shades that I'm going to use. I'm going to go off camera, do the usual thing, and I will be right back to show you guys the completed look. Okay, so here is the finished look, and I did like a little close-up shot for you guys because I feel like I stopped doing that for some reason, and I was like, you know what, they're not really being able to see the look fully without getting up close, so I included that this time. But what I did to finish off this look was I went in with this gel liner from Colourpop. It's not very good. It's actually drying out already, but this is in Catsuit. It's a teal shade, and I went in with the Thrive mascara, the liquid extension mascara. And then for my lips, I have this lipstick from We Makeup that I haven't used in a while, and I don't know why because I love this formula. But this is the shade in Hualalai Amber. I think that's the name of it. It just has a number on it, but it's also number 9 in case you're curious and want to check it out. But it's a nice like cool toned chocolatey brown, and I thought it went really nice with this cool toned eye look. And I did also use the Nabla Cupid's Arrow to tightline up on the top part. And that is how I completed everything. Hopefully you guys like this look. I love a more cool tone mix of like teal and browns on the eyes. So I think this came out really beautiful. All right, I'm back for look number 2. I'm going to focus on the purples and like the orangey shades in here. I did use a color switch to clean off these brushes, but I'm going to go into the A5 one, and I'm going to go into Spice, which is a deep orangey brown, and I'm going to use that in the inner portion and focus that just over here in the inner part. I have an idea in my head, and I just want this to be kind of more like a, I guess, a sunset vibe kind of look. So I'm just concentrating the orange all in the inner portion on both sides. Now I'm going to go into Snug, this deeper purple shade. This one also has a lot of kick up. The darker shades have a lot of kickback in them. But I mean, this is just more of a powdery formula, but they're very pigmented and they're very blendable. Just got to be careful. So I'm going to concentrate this shade in the outer corner as like the deepening shade. See how this purple works, because I feel like purples are a very hard matte to formulate. Just purples in general can be a little difficult. It's really hard to find a really good purple matte, but I'm just going to concentrate that all on the outer corner. Okay, I think that purple performed really nicely on the lids. It's not patchy or anything, and even though I got a little bit of like fallout, it was able to dust off and it didn't stain my cheek, so that's really good. So I do want to go on with the same brush and go into the shade Cozy, this kind of mauvey pink shade, and I'm going to use that to kind of blend the edge of this purple shade. Sometimes that's like the best method, to just go in with like a lighter matte to blend out like a dark shade on the edge. Okay, so let me do the lower lash line. I'm just gonna mimic what's up here. I'm just gonna take Uden's eye brushes. I want something a little bit smaller and dense because these shades have a lot of kickback to them. So I'm gonna take the Snug shade down here, just connect up to that shade. I just want it to be a little bit more precise, so I want it to go with something smaller, and I'm gonna do that on this side. And I'm gonna clean this brush off and go into Spice now in the inner portion. I'm mimicking exactly what I did in my upper crease. All right, so there we go. So I kind of want to do a cut crease. I'm just in the mood to do something a little bit more precise. So I'm gonna take this Ultra Creamy Tarte Concealer to do a cut crease really quick. And I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. So the cut crease is done. I did go over the edge of the cut crease with the Snug shade just to make it look a little bit more seamless. So I'm going to take the A7 brush and I'm going to go into Magic first in the outer portion and then go in with the Autumn shade in the inner portion. I think that's going to look really pretty. I'm going to pick it up. I'm also going to wet my brush with some setting spray just to amp up these shimmers. And I'm going to use the Magic shade right over here on the edge, closest to the deep purple matte, and take it in just a little bit. This is such a beautiful purple shade. I feel like it has kind of a dark base to it. Maybe like a deep gray base, but it's really pretty. It's really smoky. It's like a smoky purple metallic. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, I love how this went on. So now I'm gonna go into the Autumn shade, the orange shade. I'm gonna pick it up on the brush. I'm gonna wet my brush again. And this one is a little bit more flaky than the purple shade. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful little autumn shade. Such a good name for it. I'm just gonna cover the whole inner portion and blend it into the purple metallic. So I'm gonna try to wrap some of the autumn shade in the inner corner. Hopefully it's light enough. I feel like it's light enough. Maybe I'll go over a little bit with the Danny highlighter on top just to make it a little brighter. But I'm just gonna wrap that around. So I am gonna go over the inner corner with the Danny highlighter again, just to make it a little bit brighter. Just wish they had one light metallic in this palette, just so you could really brighten the inner corner. But you know what? You can pull it from any other palette. You can use your highlighter like I'm using. All right, I'm back. I did kind of work on the edges and blended out some of the mattes a little more, but that is all the shades that I'm gonna use for my eyes. I love how this turned out. I love the autumn sunset vibes that this is giving me. So I'm gonna go off camera, do the usual thing, complete the look, and I will be right back. Okay, so here is the completed look, and I love how it turned out. So what I did off camera was I went in with the Propa Beauty lipstick and Prowess. I just thought this shade went really nicely with this eye look. I used the LA Girl Shockwave liner and Screamin' just to brighten up the waterline. And then I used the Huda liner. I went in with the Thrive mascara. I used the Nabla Cupid's Arrow to tightline. And that is how I completed this look. So I'm going to zoom you guys out and give you my final first impressions on all of these products. All right, we are at the end of this video and I am ready to give you guys my thoughts on everything. I really do think the brush set was really nice. It's very soft, the bristles. They're very good at like blending out shadows, especially the eye brushes. I thought the powder brush was really nice for the blush, and I feel like this would be really good at like pressing powder on the face. I also think this would be great for like bronzer and like blending out like the bronzer and the blush together. So I can't wait to play with these brushes a little more, and I thought the highlighter brush was really nice. So I'm excited to play with that set some more. As for the face products, I thought they were both really nice. Now, the Danny highlighter is on the lighter side. It does have a gold shift, so I was able to use it on my skin tone. But I do feel like if you have a deeper complexion, this is going to be too light and too icy. So that's the only thing with this, is that it doesn't cover all skin tones. As for the Danny blush, I feel like this would work on a wide range of skin tones because it is more pigmented. It's a little deeper, but you can sheer it out. But you want to start off with a light hand because it does have decent pigmentation to it, so you can go overboard really quick with this. So if you go lightly and just slowly blend it out, I think this could work on light skin tones, and if you want to build it up, I think this could also work on deeper skin tones. So I thought this blush was really nice, and it has a beautiful little satin sheen to it. As for the palette, this is my favorite thing in the whole route. As for the palette, which is my favorite part and the thing that I enjoyed the most, I love this color story. I love how this palette looks. I feel like it's very unique. I love that this can be something that can transition really nicely into the winter. I do feel like the formula in this one is different from the other palettes that I've tried from Unearthly Cosmetics. Like the Witching Hour palette, the shades are more firmly pressed in the palette, so you have to like kind of dig in more to like pick up the shadows, and I feel like these ones are a lot more loosely packed in the palette. Like the mattes are very powdery, they have a lot of kickback, so you have to be careful for like fallout. So you either want to do your eye makeup first or go in with a light hand, dust off the excess, but they're just a lot more loose in the pan. I feel like they were pigmented and very blendable, and the same for the metallics. They're a little bit looser in the pan, and they're a little, you know, textured, but they're beautiful, they're sparkly, and I don't think they enhance texture on the lids. The only one that has that more firmly pressed texture is Cashmere, which is very similar to like the metallics in the Witching Hour palette, but I do think it was still really pretty. It's very creamy. It's almost leaning more satin, but it's such a beautiful taupe metallic. And overall, it was such a beautiful palette. I think this is like one of my favorite ones that I've tried from Alien Cosmetics, just because the color story is just so beautiful and unique. The only thing I wish is that it had a light matte or a light metallic that you could use as an inner corner highlight, but besides that, I could easily pull that from another palette or use a highlighter like I did in these two looks. Anyways guys, that was my thoughts on all of these products. I loved all of them. I had such a nice time playing with them. I love how my looks turned out, so you guys will have to let me know in the comments below what were your thoughts. Do you like the looks? Have you tried these products, or just how you're doing? I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy this video, you like colorful makeup looks, you like palette reviews, please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. And if you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. And also don't forget to check out the description below. I have all the products linked, the rest of my face makeup that I have on in case you're curious. I will have other videos that I did on Unearthly Cosmetics palettes. They were Alien Cosmetics before, so the title will say Alien Cosmetics for those reviews. And I will also have my social media platforms there if you want to check me out on Instagram. I'm Breezy Lifestyle or Breezy_Beauty, and I'm also on TikTok as Breezy_Beauty. So I would love for you to check me on those other platforms. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, for hanging out with me a bit, for supporting my channel. I really appreciate you guys. I love having you here, and I just hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. But I am sending you so much love and light. But until next time, bye guys.